Welcome back everybody. So this is gonna be a quick update video for you guys on stock market, and before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated guys. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and you want to support the channel, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. Dow is up whopping 1.51%, Nasdaq going absolutely flat on the day, S&P going up 0.80%, and Russell going up 0.84%. Now here's 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500, and what do we got here on top leading the way? Definitely, and we actually had some calls on Chevron and that thing exploded. While energy leading the way on top, real estate, utilities, consumer defensive, healthcare, financial, industrials, basic materials, communication services, and then lagging behind consumer cyclical and technology. Now here on this stock market map you can see Chevron massive move up over 2.5%, XOM up 2.87%, Tesla kind of a flat day, Amazon down 1.61%, Meta going flat on the day, and then we got Google also going flat, Apple up 0.5%. And this was a fantastic play guys. I mean, I don't know about you guys buying that dip, but this is what I like to do. When I see big names like CRM, something like Apple going down, I'm gonna buy the dip. And yesterday, catching this falling knife, and guess what? Came out with a lot of profit today on CRM, up over 7.5%. Microsoft, it was down on the day, but now it's flat. Nvidia going down 0.79%, nothing big, and look at all these regional banks, all are up green on the day. On DIA it's up 1.59%, and this was a fantastic trade, and you guys will see that in a minute. But here, what do we got here on DIA guys? Two gap down here on DIA yesterday and day before on Wednesday, and today massive bullish engulfing candle, and this cannot get any better, and the prediction cannot get any better because it was hitting lower Bollinger Band just like it did right here, and we actually caught the bottom and exactly hitting this lower Bollinger Band. And look at the bounce off of this Bollinger Band guys. I mean, it was at 380, 381, and I actually got in at 381, and look at this explosion all the way up to 388. So that is like what, $7-8 to the upside if you actually got in at the right time. And you cannot ignore the fact that we got high volume buying today on Dow Jones. Now, are we going to see continuation to the upside, or this is just a dead cat bounce? Well, if you look at the volume here, definitely does not look like this is some sort of a dead cat bounce. So there might be more to it here on DIA, and we can find out next week if this thing actually wants to move even higher. So going into Monday's session, well, if you look at my screen, we actually technically did close above 386.57 5-day moving average. Also, it's below 50 SMA right here, which is setting at 388.62. So going into Monday's session, DIA can break and hold 50 SMA, this red line, 388.62, then watch out for a move up to 392.46, and then blue sky above, we might be coming back up to 400 again. Now to the downside, if this is actually a dead cat bounce and we're actually getting a lower high here at some point, maybe at 388 to this 50 SMA, maybe even up to 392, and then this thing continues to move down again, then watch out for that lower high to get set right here, somewhere in between 388 to 392, and that can also happen, and then we can see DIA coming back down again. So for next week as a support, you need to watch 5-day moving average 386.57, below that 384, down to lower Bollinger Band, which is going to be a strong support 381.64, and then all the way down here 376 on DIA. On Triple Q, it's down 0.19%. So what happened here on Triple Q today? We got a big move to the downside, but entire dip was bought up, and again, bulls doing a great job holding on to this previous all-time highs right here as a support into closing 449.50, and that is why I actually had puts right here at 460, got into some 445 puts, and I've been selling out, guys. I mean, that is a $17 move to the downside I caught right here on Triple Q with my Patreon group. Why would I hold? That is a big move. So took profit on that trade as well. And look at this comeback and holding above 449.50 into closing. And bulls definitely showing a lot of power right here on Triple Q. So going into next week, into Monday's session, there will be strong support at 449.50. And below that, watch out for a dump off down to 440. And then this gap, 436.48. Now to the upside, as long as the support can hold 449.50, watch out for the resistance at 453.77, 13 SMA, and above that 455. And if this thing can break and hold 455, blue sky above again, and easily going back up to 460 plus. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing here on X like other people. It's totally free, and you can always ask me a question if you have right here on X. Now let's talk about this play right here, guys. Yesterday, Thursday, DIA was down here at 380, 381, and this is exactly where I actually got these calls, 385. And what happened on Friday? Massive, massive explosion. I mean, this thing went above and beyond. Almost 388. Caught a move that is $8 to the upside. This was a fantastic day trade. Or you can call this a swing trade because we actually swung overnight. Now, not only this play, guys. Triple Q, we actually shorted just a couple days ago at 460, getting some 445 puts. And what happened today? I mean, that is a $17 move to the downside we caught on that one. So all these trade ideas, especially people that are serious about trading, definitely need to try out my Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And trust me when I say this, you won't be disappointed joining my Patreon. On IWM, it's up 0.84%, so we got a gap up here on IWM this morning, and then pretty much gave away all the gains, came back down to 203, not quite filling this gap, and holding above 50 SMA, went back up, and now trading just below 206 into closing on Friday. So here on IWM, if this thing can break and hold 206, watch out for a move all the way up to 210. Below 206, there will be support at 204, 203, this gap down here at 50 SMA, and below 203, watch out for this gap down here at 200 on IWM. On SPY ETF, it's up 0.91%. So what we got here on SPY ETF, definitely a bullish hammer candle, guys. And you cannot ignore the fact that buying on a high volume is always bullish. Now, we did close this gap this week, 523. And also came down to 518.36. Technically, this could be a higher low on a weekly time frame, right? And now, so far you can see the weekly support 522 holding, and even the daily support and the previous all-time highs right here, 524 holding into closing. So, 2 on 2 for the bulls, and everything is looking great. Because nothing is broken. We got a mini pullback, and the dip buyers came in just like myself, and they bought up the dip just like before. So no big pullback, but at least we got a decent pullback. And that is why when I make these videos and always talking about a decent pullback, because guess what, guys? I took so many trades in last 2 to 3 days, and all those swing trades actually paying. And why? Because puts that I took on top, things are pulling back, making money, right? Selling those and then getting into calls, and those are also paying because things are going back up. And you can see I'm not making things up. You know, things came back and now going back up. And that is why when I talk about it in my video that as a retail trader, investor, you know, we need a dip here in this market. And when there is a dip, guess what? We eat that dip, right? We make a lot of money on that dip. You know, if you're chasing as a retail trader, investor on top, you're not going to make a lot of money. So that is why, at least I would say our strength, at least mine, is buying the dip. When there is a dip, I can make a ton of money. I cannot make money chasing, and that is not the way I go. I don't chase anything. So if it's running, it's going to what, 550? Well, let it be that way. You know, I'm not going to chase that move, but some people, they would chase it. That's just not me. With 20 plus years of experience, I never chase anything because I did it before when I started. And chasing is the worst thing you can do. And you can see how easily you can make money buying the dip. And also, if things are overbought, you can short it like we did. And those are paying. We got paid on those and then picked up calls pretty much at the bottom. Things were looking oversold, and now those are paying, right? So that's how it works. You cannot just jump into anything in the middle. You cannot buy at the top and say, hey, it's going to go up even more. I'm going to make more money. Can I buy here at 530? No, absolutely not. So always you got to time the market. And if you can time it at the right time, you're going to make money. And I hope that makes sense to you guys, because if that don't, well, I don't know what to tell you, right? Now here on SPY ETF, definitely we did close above this previous all-time high, 524, 525. So that is going to be your line in the sand and this 20 SMA for next week on Monday. Below that, we have strong support at 520 and then 517. We actually came really close to 50 SMA today. But look at this hammer candle. This thing went back up and now trading at 527, 528 right after closing. So next week, as long as this support can hold right here at 524, watch out for a breakout over 528. And if that happens, this orange line, 13 SMA breaks, you're going to see again another all-time high, and that could be easily 535 on SPY ETF, or at least this thing can retest 533 again. On VIX is down almost 11%, so this thing got absolutely destroyed, and this is nothing new, guys. VIX crushed Friday, right? And this thing definitely got crushed today. I mean, look at this massive bearish engulfing candle, and now it's below 13 bucks. So, I mean, this thing is in no man's land, and now this thing can go down even more, all the way down to 11.42, and that should give this market another pump to the upside, unless this is actually a fake breakdown and we get a breakout over 15. I mean, we actually never got up to 15 on VIX, so forget about breakout here. We actually got this gap fill and reversal to the downside on VIX right here. And now with this big bearish engulfing candle, there might be more downside. We might be retesting this low again on VIX right here around 1150 to 1142. Now, $13 can hold. If we can get over it next week, then watch out for a move up to 1437 on VIX and then even 15. But no breakout, no breakout confirmation until this thing breaks above 15 and can hold above 15. These are just dead cat bounces on VIX, and nothing big will happen until this thing breaks and holds 15 bucks. So the dollar is staying absolutely flat on the day, and we got a pullback down below the support 104.48, immediately went back up and now trading just under 5-day moving average, which is sitting at 104.75. So here on dollar, guys, we do have support at 104.48 and below that 104.16 down to even 103.58. All dollar needs to do next week, it needs to get above 104.48 4.75, and soon as that happens, dollar can hold that as a support. You're going to see continuation back up to 105, 105.48, and then possibly even 106. And that is all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated going into Monday.